Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So in this video, we're going to cover how to proceed with fishing 2.0, aka harpoon fishing. So first of all, if you have already finished fishing 1.0, you will have extra fish stones, those blue ones, and you can talk to the man at the far left of Kira Beach and exchange all those extra fish stones for the new fish stone currency, which is orange instead of blue. And these are unable to be converted back. However, I imagine that you won't need those blue fish stones in the future, and so they allow you to permanently go one way from blue to orange. Now after that, you do have to have finished the entire chapter 1 of the 3000 year arc and the Sea Abyss, aka the newest side episode featuring our favorite siren as well as mermaid, and hopefully you guys have all enjoyed that content. Now we have met the catch queen when we were first about halfway through the chapter 1, where we kind of had to do a mini game, catch a couple of fish, and then exchange it to the catch queen in order to proceed with the main story of that chapter. Now in this case, after the chapter is done, you can see that there was a blue exclamation mark, and you are to come back and speak to the catch queen, just like you did at Kira Beach to that old man or that fishing legend. And it's going to be the same thing where when you level up this harpoon high enough, you'll be able to catch apparently some legendary fish and so on and so forth. And the great thing about doing fishing, especially given that a lot of you may have very few or no chronostones left, is that just like fishing 1.0, you do get stones, fish chronostones as well as fish stones as soon as you do some fishing, and so it's actually not as difficult as the 1.0, and I highly encourage anyone who's apprehensive about starting this to go ahead and do it, because it's really not that painful provided you do some basic preparation work. Now obviously if you have finished fishing 1.0, having all those extra converted blue stones into the orange stones will be of great benefit, and I'll actually show you how I proceeded and my thoughts about my choices versus what I think would be best, because as I played through the fishing minigame, I realized that I might not have bought the same way, and especially if you have less excess orange fish stones, you might not proceed this way as well. Also, just to note, when you do catch your first fish, I believe you get 3 orange stones. When you catch the first XL fish of that type, you also get 3 yellow stones. And then moving forward, you get, for catching, I think, either 30 or 70 or whatnot, you do get anywhere from 7 to 15 extra fish stones for each different type of fish as you hit those milestones. So you actually accumulate a lot of those orange fish stones very, very quickly, instead of the olden way where it felt like you had to fish a bunch to get 1 stone here, 1 stone there, and then obviously with the quality of life updates, you do now get kind of 2 and 2 for catching 20 and 40 fish of fishing 1.0 respectively. Now you can see that the catch queen did give us, I guess, a pot and some bait to start, and you also have harpooning as well. Now, one thing to note, we talk about harpoon proof, which is essentially the harpoon level. And the good thing is you do get level and XP for harpooning through using both traps as well as harpooning manually. And again, later on in this video, I will demonstrate just basically how that is done, and some tips that I feel might be useful for you going into the future. And of course, if you want more information, you can go back into the menu and look up the, I guess, the guide or the information in the menu options in the game itself. So what I would recommend is to balance between buying additional traps and also your fishing harpoon tip. So you can see that there's the normal harpoon tip 2, as well as fishing trap, which is the one you would upgrade, as well as buying additional trap. And so there are 3 levels of trap. There is the old pot, which is the one you start with. There is the regular trap, and then there is the antique trap. And note that you only start with 1 trap to start, and if you want to buy an additional trap, it's 30. And to upgrade that is 2 times is 20 and 40 orange stones respectively. Not only that, but as you buy the harpoon tips, they go up in level, and the highest one ends up being 50. And only at the 50 orange stone mark can you start having a rare chance of getting triple catches, which is what you're looking for, just like with the dimension hook back in Fishing 1.0. I would recommend having at least 2 traps, so the one you started with, plus an additional one. Now, if you have finished 1.0 like myself, I ended up buying all 5 traps. However, at this point in the game, because we're only in Chapter 1, you really only need 4 traps. And if you can afford it, get the 4 traps first up to 4, and then start upgrading them. Because if you upgraded them, they can actually catch bigger and better fish. However, I don't believe a lot of the rare fish have been released yet, and so at this point in the game, you're better off at least having, more traps if possible, and then don't forget to upgrade your tip, because without a high enough tip, even when you do manual harpoon fishing, you won't get nearly as good a result. In terms of the 4 bait, I think generally when I arm my traps, when you're a lower level, I would just use the sea worm. It's cheap, it's effective. You'll need those blue points in order to buy harpoon upgrades itself. And then as you get more experience and you're catching more and more things, you could probably upgrade to using either the crab or the shrimp. Now, I haven't used the most expensive one yet, and I imagine that once my level is high enough, I might experiment with using that and manually fishing. And so there are 4 areas that you can currently find that are able to either set traps or what they call sprinkle its bait. And so you can see I sprinkled the bait here the first time, and when you do, you get a bunch of fish coming out all at once, and you have to manually fish. And the easiest way, you literally just see the fish, you tap on it. There are 3 colors. I believe blue means easy, yellow means moderate difficulty, and red means difficult. And so obviously the red ones will run away more often, yellow you have like an okay chance, and blue you're most likely to get it. Other than that, if you want to sprinkle bait at one of the 4 trap sites, keep in mind that once you sprinkle it and a bunch of fish come out, it takes an hour to reset. Now, in the case of setting a trap, the good thing is that, for most of us have actual lives, we can drop off a trap, come back in a couple of hours, and then pick up the proceeds of it. And so if you do one full run and there are 4 areas, it will take anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes to kind of walk through. I would recommend, equipping a lower encounter badge, and so you can easily pick up everything and kind of time your pickup of traps as you progress through the fishing. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.